This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back to the show. We are ecstatic to have our friend here joining us once again today, Jim Burton, and excited to talk to him today about his amazing company. He's the studio director and owner of Carter and Burton Architecture and currently in, Berryville, Virginia, but he has licenses in many states. We are going to get to know him, his backstory, and of course, all that this amazing small architecture firm can help you with. So welcome to the show today. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing today?
I'm fantastic. Excited to get to know you and talk about so much that you do. You're world traveled, critically acclaimed, and I'm excited to talk to you and see all this work. So, first and foremost, tell us a little bit about yourself, Jim. Thank you.
Okay, well, grew up in a military family, traveled a lot, moved around a lot as a kid, and settled in Northern Virginia, where my dad worked for the Pentagon, and but gradually after graduating, started moving a little bit west into the mountains and small town communities that sort of supported some of the special education that I had gotten that focused on small town designs at Mississippi State and sustainability and just settled in and built an experimental house studio loggerheads up on the mountain before I joined my partner to be in Berryville, Paige Carter, and in '99 we started Carter plus Burton Architecture, but have enjoyed. We both had minors in art in our educations, and we've enjoyed the process of finding the artistic qualities in design, and we also I've been involved with some community projects and creating pop-up art shows in communities and supporting local artists and just trying to stay active and learn more as we go through life here. I
Beautiful.
will say also, moving out into the Western Shenandoah Valley, I've sort of rediscovered golf and as a kid, just it's easier to play and fly fishing and mountain biking. It's all out here, hiking in nature and then when I go to these other job sites up in New York and Massachusetts, and I out and make new friends, and it's great to get out there and learn and share but it's good times for modern design actually these days. So
Beautiful. So you're small, well, you say small architecture firm, but you really, let's focus on some of the projects that you do. And also, wait, first and foremost, what states are you licensed in? Would you mind just sharing that with everyone?
yeah, so North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., New York, and Massachusetts so far. Yeah.
Beautiful. So you focus, you say, on new home design as well as residential renovations, additions, also commercial projects. And clearly you're willing to travel for the right client. And you really have been in the forefront of sustainable design and that movement since the firm was founded in 92. Could you share a little bit about that and what that means to be so sustainable in your movement here?
Yes. So coming out of school, a close friend of mine, Dr. Bill Carpenter, and I went to a meeting with some leadership folks in Washington, D.C., the head of HUD, and they had invited some other leaders, and one of them was James Swan, the head of the Native Indian Consortium, and they were talking about this new word called sustainability that they were going to launch in the upcoming year and the focuses that would entail. And half of that meeting actually talked about culture and sense of place, which I really got excited about going to school in Mississippi. And um, over time, the word sustainability really started off with more energy efficiency and healthy materials, which we had been doing as a firm. but always wanting to sort of support local craft and local artists, defining a sense of place, designs with regional logic, working with, new technologies. And so I've always said that sort of culture is the other half of sustainability. And that has been something that I've enjoyed, in our book writing and exhibits, sort of featuring that concept from early on. We enjoyed being the first, presenting the first modern greenhouse in the Washington Post, Matoka. That was in '99. Again, Loggerheads was in '96, that little experimental house it was back when Al Gore was saying something about something like the internet, and I was saying, well, maybe I could do a little house on a rock ledge that could be a satellite office house where you could work remotely. And 30 years or so later, where everybody's working remotely, it seems. But we also enjoyed doing a healthy house in the earlier years, and have sort of kept track of the and being acknowledged in the sustainability movement. Sustainability and LEED early on was not addressing the healthy air quality as much, and it eventually came along the way. And so that it was good being exposed to some opportunities to help people in these new areas. But um, so that's some of it. But
Right. Well, I know you also, you want to focus a little on the energy efficient and innovative designs using local craft, sites, specific regional logic. You mentioned natural, sustainable materials like the New York Cabin, North Carolina Beach House, the DC Row House, and so much more. And you've really been into this, obviously, for a long time, and really, have implemented new technologies and materials over these years.
yeah, the one of the projects we enjoyed working on was the yoga studio.
Uh-huh.
That was the first LEED gold house on this in the Southeast
Wow.
U.S. We use curved SIPS panels. I convinced a local craftsman, cabinet maker, window maker to become a builder,
Oh
so
my goodness.
so that we could have something that was, almost like a Fabergé egg, just the quality of craftsmanship on the project. And we integrated, geothermal systems and this product called TX Active. It was an early use of this concrete product that would take pollution out of the air.
Oh.
It had been used by Richard Meyer in Europe, I think, on a church before we used it. But we're always sort of testing new materials and then seeing how the materials age and what the industry learns from those things. And every 5 years, there seems to be another wave of new things that we have to evaluate and learn from with the continuing education process. But it's net zero is very common now. We're doing a house at Deep Creek Lake for a family that has the triple pane windows and the solar panels. It's even with an indoor pool. It's been a great project to work on. But yeah, the energy efficiency. And I will say we did start training some of our builders by introducing them to Dr. Joe Seabrick. I brought
Mm-hmm.
him into our office and had him give a lecture to my staff and some of our younger builders. He's the world's top expert on building envelopes, and he was great telling his stories. And a lot of the stories, there's some problems coming down the road. You guys can learn from what I'm seeing. and it's great getting some of these younger builders indoctrinated into the new knowledge as the climate changes. We have to, really think hard about how the building envelope performs and with more rain and things like that. But there's lots to learn about, and every day we're learning more. So,
Well,
but
I mean, I took a look at your website and saw some of these beautiful projects. I mean, from like the river house, there was the boat house. I mean, this work is amazing. It's beautiful, by the way. So I commend you on all of this, and congrats on having such a successful, career and helping so many people. This is, work obviously that you take to heart, and you mentioned you have a partner, correct?
Yeah, she retired about 9 or 10 years ago, and I've kept the business going and have expanded it a little bit into some new regions like New York and Massachusetts, and but I just enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm going to retire. You may have seen in the past, Frank Lloyd Wright. He was kind of peaking in his 70s and 80s, some people might say. And so I can understand that where, it becomes intuitive, the knowledge that you build. Architects don't know what they don't know when they're in their 30s, and they like to experiment. And I would experiment on my own house projects.
Mm-hmm.
I built two projects with recycled materials, and we brought a portable mill on the site and learned about
Wow.
microclimates and where the wood adapts to the little pocket of land that it grew up in, where we didn't need to kiln dry the wood and it didn't twist and turn and get, disformed. And I don't know, 5 or 10 years later, I heard at a conference for timber frame builders, they started talking about microclimates and how the wood would adapt better if it came from the land. And so the boathouse was another job like that. We brought in portable mill. All the wood was milled on the site. It's an off the grid house, no power lines, just batteries and solar panels, and all the wood is right from the property. And so we do that on some of the jobs as well. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, looking back, I mean, at your first project, I know that was what, do you want to share a little bit about where that was in the studio loggerheads, you said?
yeah, up in Virginia, 1996. Had an idea coming out of school that it would be good for young by building and getting their hands dirty and learning, getting intuitive with the knowledge of the materials. And my college friend, Dr. Carpenter, joined in on that sort of research and thought, and he wrote a book about learning by building and featured that book or that house in the early book, Learning by Building. I've got a little copy of it right here you can see, but and that was the first book that featured our mentor, Sam Mockbee's program at Auburn. Oprah Winfrey had interviewed him about that program. We had captured his process. He was our teacher at Mississippi State before he moved to Auburn to start that program. But yeah, experimenting. Boxhead was another experimental house testing exposed SIPS panels as a finished surface. That was a lot of fun. I'm doing a barn in Massachusetts now using that technique. And, I get my hands dirty making concrete countertops and did a lot of the finish work on that one as well. And so but I learn by living with my experiments and writing about them, so that the clients are not taking any risks with new materials and ideas. So
Oh. Wonderful. Well, also, let me ask you, what else do you want to share about this work that you're doing? There's so much. I know you also had an exhibit in Venice I read about. There's a lot to it. So where would you like to go next?
Yes. Well, the some of the books, the last one that came out last year, Digital Fabrication and the Design Build Studio, it was sort of a relaunching of that early architectural theory book where I helped write a couple of chapters, Learning by Building, and a chapter about Virginia Tech. This idea of giving back in training and mentorship. One of my high school interns actually went on to Virginia Tech and went on to run the solar decathlon project, Future House. And so I wrote about some of that, and they actually won the Middle Eastern Solar Decathlon for Virginia Tech with that, and they exhibited the building in Times Square. So that was a really great feeling that, one of our local kids went on and now he's running the National Solar Decathlon. And so we're trying to share some of that new knowledge in the writings. The exhibits is another way to get the word out. So the Venice Biennale of Architecture in 2023, we exhibited this craft and tectonics concept at the show, and then did it again last year, teaming up with Dr. Carpenter on that one for the 2025 exhibit and Lightroom with his studio. So we shared a larger space and we put together a film and some original art and filled the room together and but getting the word out, giving a lecture on the new book there, and we've started working on a new book recently that we hope to share in an exhibit next year as well. So but it's the research and the writing supports the design work, and the client, we're always learning from clients what their wishes are. Ultimately we're creating a place to retreat to, get away from it
Hmm.
all, and live in nature if that's the kind of site. Or like the DC row house was a repeat client that wanted to really cut into a row house and get some natural light going with healthy products and a lot of design with natural light and materials. So, but just using the exhibit venue and writing to share the knowledge so it can continue. And so that's been a lot of fun. Um,
Beautiful. Well,
yeah.
thank you for sharing that. And also, there's still so much to cover. I know being this is our first show together, I just want to make sure we're covering everything that is important to you. And, would you say that you describe or your describe, I should say, like signature qualities of your work and how intentionally unique are they, would you say?
Yes. So you did mention the River House. There's
Mm-hmm.
that house, and Elk Run Ridge is another one where they're a little bit farther south, and the climate is starting to make sense for porch designs to create shade buffers around the house. And Elk Run Ridge had a dog trot for airflow. Help with the open plan, not have any, stressful echo sounds. And, we're fitting the designs into the land. They don't look like many projects by other architects because of this sort of trying to fit into the landscape with the regional knowledge. And we're not sentimental about it. We're designing, innovative, new artistic things with the client that fits with the site and functions properly. So that is why every client is creating a different feel, a different project. and we're working with their instincts to find a good comfort level in the project. But yeah, so you see a lot of the natural materials and stone, concrete, wood. The Lately we've been using more of these radiated pine type woods that don't rot, and they don't expand and twist but it is a real wood. There are a few different products we can talk about next time in more specifics, but yeah, when you look at the projects, you can tell that's a retreat. You're going to sort of shut the world out and enjoy your privacy, and we're fitting it in, very difficult sites, steep rock ledges. The We've got one under construction on the side of a mountain where you go across a 70-foot glass bridge to get into the tower house and a roof deck with amazing views. So we can look at that some next time, along with the
Sure.
longhouse.
Yeah, I would love to. We could,
Yeah,
obviously share the screen and see a lot of this work would be
yeah,
beautiful to talk about each project. I agree. Yes.
yeah. So we had two twin brothers that one built a longhouse with a double wide lot, and the other we helped find some land, and they're building the tower house. So they have these fun, and they're within a quarter mile of each other, which is a lot of fun for them, and the two different expressions of design, and but yeah, it's been just a treat and an honor to serve these people, and working out of a small town. We're an hour from Washington, D.C. I grew up closer to Washington and
Okay.
familiar with that. And then, the more travel you do, the easier it gets to I do like to drive to these sites 6, 7, 8 hours away. It gives me a chance for the thoughts to sort of simmer and think about things before I get there, or it helps inspire writings and research as well. But we've got a great team, and which has been a fun process to add to the projects, with all the custom silk rugs and window treatments and furniture with natural fibers and wearability, commercial grade, rub ratings, and there's all sorts of things you get into with that. But yeah.
Great. Well, obviously with your experience and your knowledge, what message do you have to people out there, that are interested in, working with you to build a beautiful space like this?
Well, I mean, you don't have to own the site yet. I mean, sometimes we do master plans or site analysis, pre-design, to help figure out whether, if you're comparing a couple of different pieces of property, whether it's existing property or starting from scratch. We also have done historic renovations to projects from the 1800s, and tax credit projects. We work on those. But yeah, they can reach out to me directly, Jim@carterburton.com, and I can set up a consultation meeting to go see a property. If they already own the property, we can discuss different levels of service and timelines, and I've done a house on the side of a cliff near Buffalo. I am looking forward to my first New York City project, actually. I see that image in your background. One of these days, we'll get in there and have some fun with some designs. I have a lot of friends in that area, and I visit a lot. And it's just such a wonderful place there. But you must enjoy being there.
Yes,
Thanks.
yes.
Yeah.
the city, but I also live now on Long Island. So yeah, I mean, city life is insane. I've done it for so many years, but I honestly prefer the suburbs a lot better. I have a 10 and 8-year old, so I needed more
Okay,
space, right?
I understand that. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
let's also divulge how we can contact you, see your work. Could you share, if you want to share a phone number, a website, social media page?
Yes. So at carterburton.com and at mod art driver are Instagram and carterburton.com website, Jim at carterburton.com for the email, and my phone number 540-550-4440. And love to talk with people that enjoy quality and craftsmanship and a fun process. And we're open to discussing that.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. Well, pleasure getting to know you today. And again, I urge everyone to go visit the website and continue to look. I mean, beautiful, beautiful work that you do. And to leave off today, did you want to share a special quote or anything for our listeners to take with them?
Well, just that every project is unique and it needs to be developed with the client in mind. And we do bring innovative ideas to them, and we try to future-proof and help protect against trends that are going to expire. We've been sort of leading the way with design and but we try to achieve a timeless craft quality that you can enjoy for many years to come.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much again for your time. Pleasure getting to know you. And hopefully we'll connect next time. Are we back on again soon?
I believe so. Yes, yes.
Beautiful. All right, Jim Burton. Would love to see some of the photos and all this architecture work that you do. And I think viewers are just going to be blown away. So again, Carter Burton, that's CarterBurton.com. And Jim, till next time, enjoy your week, okay?
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you so much. And to all of our listeners, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.